Spoilers! This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hi, fellow Whovians. Wait, I was supposed to put the banner up. See, when Dave's not here, this is all me now. This is all me on the screw up side. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Whovians everywhere. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Today, the day I've regretted so much is coming. We're going to be reviewing Doctor Who Fear Her in just a few moments there. The episode, you know what, I'm not going to poke fun at it as much as I would like to do, but just in case, you know, we'll talk about that and we'll review the episode and rate it, and you guys get to get it rated as well. And Dave's not here, so I'll be handling both the chats on the production side and as well as hosting the show. So this is going to be a interesting episode, so do your dirtiest to fill up the chats out there. Speaking of your dirtiest, let's go ahead and bring in the entire team. First of all, let's go over to the UK and bring in the Candyman. How you doing?
All right, typical. I'm doing fine. Typical. You talk about dirty and you bring me straight in. You trying to imply something there?
Hey, fingers on lips. Fingers on lips. There you go.
I'm good. I was like, I hope you got this all under control. And
I don't. There's no Dave. It was so easy when the two of us would split it. He would host and I would produce, or he would produce.
Yeah. Now, as long as you don't press the big red button, you mean this should be fine. Yeah. Don't.
Oh. Sorry, wrong big red button there. Speaking of big red buttons, I don't know where we're going with this. David. Yeah, I can hear him. Big red
hello. Yes. I'm sorry. Charlotte has decided to join me.
Yeah, Carla.
At a very inconvenient time. But anyways, I am effervescent with excitement to be here.
I got the cat alert. I'm doing chats. I'm doing everything. There goes. Hello, Dan. How you doing there, God?
On my headphone cord.
We've had former hosts that the cats would chew on their cord. So, and everybody's saying hello to each other. There you go. Hi, Jim. 7 minutes to showtime. Yeah, when we do it right. If we do it right.
Look,
Speaking of doing it right,
we're better than last week. We were like, at least we were on 10 past.
Hey, it's not we're no technical issues. Bang on. I guess this is wood. Anyway, speaking of banging on wood, there you go.
Did someone say red button? Burp.
Yeah, exactly. I've been hitting that red button so badly. How you doing, Nick? And Nick says hello to everybody. How you doing there, Nick?
Good. It's all hands to the pump here. I teach for SUNY Fredonia. I teach film, and we're just getting into our new semester. So I've had to use my brain all day. So I figured I'd come and listen to you guys and be able to switch it off.
I don't know how to take that anyway.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
It was passwords inside the chat here. I don't know what's going on.
Just send all your passwords to me.
That's right. Send your credit card information, your social security number. You can just send it through text. And I have PayPal if you need anything. Speaking of PayPal, that was the worst transition I think I could possibly put on. Well, I'm still trying to pull up all this info. I usually have everything ready and stuff. So without further ado, speaking of things ready, let's go to the Who Knew News.
Hi, guys.
Oh,
You're making me laugh.
I know. So am I.
And I brought the lighty tree up this time and everything. Aww. And I think Charlotte is waiting for our other star in the show later. That's probably why she saw that. She says, "Well, no, I'm going to be around," because that lovely cat that disappears and everything. Yep, spoilers.
David, how old is Charlotte? I was just curious.
9, I believe. If I do the mental math quickly.
I don't want to leave Daddy. Daddy, I want to be out there.
She wants to watch tonight. There's a cat in it.
I am famous. Speaking of famous, let's go back to Gadget. That worked. That transition.
That was a good one.
I can work with that.
Well, let's see. What news can we begin with? But we've got 4 new writers for the new season of Doctor Who and everything. And trying to do research on them was a very interesting topic. So we're just going to stick to what Who has put out. And one of our writers, bear with me if I'm not looking at the camera because this is what happens with dyslexia. You can write it down and the handwriting gets sucked out of nowhere. Okay. It is horrible. And I can't read my own notes. So we have one of the writers, Juno Dawson, and she or they is noted for their book. Let's see, it's This Book is Gay and Her Majesty's Royal Coven. She created the first official Doctor Who script podcast called Redacted. I'm trying to say if I say it right and everything. Sorry, guys. And she has dipped a little bit into Who and everything. She is a former teacher as well as a published author, like I said. But the best is the Sunday Times Best Novelist and Screenwriter and Journalist Awards and everything. So, okay. And stuff. And then this is where I'm going to mess it up. Inu alums. I know.
Whatever they are.
I feel bad for them, but this is what happens and everything. And he's a writer of poetry, curator, and his works included The Candy Coated Unicorn and The Converse All Stars, his first play, The 14th Tale. But really cool is that he does write for the Royal Shakespearean Company. And trust me, I've seen their work and it's really good. Was there in 2016 to see A Midsummer's Night's Dream. And I regret I never got the prologue, whatever the book is for it, the book of the show and everything, because it tells you about the writers and everything. And he, according to this, he's been a fan and he started watching when he was 10 in Nigeria. So he has a connection probably with Nashudi in the sense of historical or if anything like his culture and stuff. So I'm wondering if they had brought him in to help with that with the season coming up, especially with some of the episodes that are coming up now and everything. But this gentleman, Peter McTighe, did I say it right?
Teague, I think. Is it?
No, Peter McTighe.
Matai? Oh, okay.
He has literally been a Whovian for a while, as he's had his hand in almost all the episodes of certain Who series and everything and stuff. I'm trying to make sure I get this right here, because he's also did another one that I love, The Discovery of Witches. And also he's done the spinoff of The War Between the Land and the Sea. So I've seen his work. He's pretty good and everything. So I want to see if he's dealing more with the sci-fi aspect of some of the episodes and everything, the more sci-fi ones, or the ones that have more like The Discovery of Witches, more historic based, or how does it twist, and stuff like that. But then we have Shamara Angel Walfor, who has actually worked with Freema Agaman and Lily Allen on an episode of Dreamland for Sky, and basically a town called Malice and Renegade Nell, which actually has been cut from Disney Plus and everything. I feel bad because I was watching one episode and it seems pretty good and everything. But she basically says, I'm a massive Russell T Davies fan, and it's a dream come true to be working alongside him. So these four have got their hands full with this season coming up and everything. But I'm looking at each one of them, and I'm thinking one looks at it from a teacher's aspect, one a Shakespearean aspect, the other is a regular Whovian and television. So the combo of those four could be something very good for next season. And hopefully something really good, because I'm seeing some of the previews for some of the episodes, and they are really nice and everything. But we'll never know until we see the full ones. And coming up for you guys, I know, is MegaCon for everybody and everything, because we actually might hit a certain number by the time you guys get out there and everything and stuff. Right, Christian?
I think we already did. Which number are you?
We hit a certain other number, but I think we're going to hit the other one faster.
I would need to know the number, but I'll go ahead and release the number that we hit just now. And we hit this on the 25th of January, just 3 days ago.
Which I'm loving you guys for.
50,000 subscribers, and that still blows the hell out of my mind right now. So everybody who has just taken the time to hit the subscribe button, going like, you know what, I'll try this if something. What are you people? No, not these numbers. You dorks.
Stop it.
Because
now.
I got a funny feeling looking at this guest list, celebrity list, because there's a bunch of Whovians coming, but there's also some closeted Whovians of other genres in here. A few I've witnessed, and they talk Doctor Who sometimes. We might get more subscribers and be at probably maybe 51K, because we're only, 400 short?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at 51? We're looking at 100,000. That's where we want to be.
Nah, let's not push that, because if we get 100,000, I think Christian's going to have a fainting spell.
Yeah, we probably will, but it would be really great if anyone of you guys have got friends or family who hasn't subscribed, click the button. That's all.
Because I know at MegaCon, we're going to get a lot of subscribers. MegaCon, we're going to get a lot of subscribers, especially if we can get these stars to subscribe to. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of them are subscribed. Maybe that was our 50th K subscriber, was one of the stars.
That's exactly why they will never come on this show. They're subscribing. We're just keeping an eye on this dude because he's just completely whacked out of his head. So,
well, we do feel bad that Jody did have to back out and everything.
Next
do we
year.
still have the video? We still have the video of her apology and everything, or
I don't have it on me, but just for people to know, she did put out a video on her site, basically saying she won't be at MegaCon. Everybody else should be still there. But she did apologize and say she was going to be aiming for 2026, which our poor Faith has just completely gone into tears right now. And
I wish I could hug her right now because I know she wanted to see Jody so bad.
Yeah, but she's going to go for, I guess, I don't want to say second best, but she's going for Mandip Gill to be out there. Mm-hmm. So right now we are at 50,000. Thank you again so much for everybody subscribing. And as of this moment, when we clocked in this morning, we gained another 540 subscribers. I don't know where the hell you people are coming from. Thank you.
Thank you guys and everything.
You know what's sad is that a friend of mine was telling me about another friend of mine who does a podcast. I won't say because he hasn't said who, he hasn't revealed this, but that person does have 100,000 subscribers, And I asked, how's he doing? And he's going like, well, he hasn't quit his day job. This is like, everybody's going like, you've got 100,000 subscribers. I said, there's a guy who I kind of know. I met him and we're acquaintances, but he's at 100,000 and he's still working. So it's not like we're rolling in dough here. It's just
that's where the illusion is. A lot of people think that once you hit that mark, you're like, but no, it's just that it shows that you guys like us. You like the humor. You like the off-candid bloopers and everything and stuff like that, especially when you get to meet these guys at MegaCon. I wish I could be there, but that would be a miracle. And the booth they have, you're going to love this. If you are at MegaCon, please see them. They are near HQ stage, the photo op booth, and the food booth. So you're not going to be able to miss them and everything. And get your picture with the TARDIS, okay? Absolutely. As well as the Dalek builders. Get to see their Daleks and everything, which I want to see one. I want to be chased around by Hal.
Christian, did you know that I just checked? You know the company which released Doctor Who audio?
Uh-huh.
Do you know how many subscribers they've got?
Yeah, I know.
I know. I was shocked.
We got more.
Look, right? I don't want to flaunt it out too much. I was just like, I don't want to be that guy that goes like, well, you know me.
All I'm going to say is thank you for everyone who subscribed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
because we're still trying to figure out who the 50th was. We're trying to figure out who the 50K was. We might know who the 50001 is, but we didn't even think we were going to get this. What was the projection after February for this, right? Christian?
What's that?
50K after February, right? You figured it was after?
Well, yeah. For folks who are familiar with it, if you got your own YouTube channel, I highly recommend an app called Social Blade. It's a little tricky because sometimes it kind of times out and stuff, so you have to go back in and go back out. But you can keep track of other podcasts, how they're doing. Not only that, you can keep track of their Twitter accounts, their Instagram, and if they do pop up on YouTube, you can actually see how they're doing and their tracking. So folks like the Timescales and Tom over at the Spill the Geek Tea, which we always highly recommend because that's our sister site. Check them out. Make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel because they're covering all the stuff that we're not covering out here.
Yeah, they take care of the anime and all the other types of things that over.
It's just random. We just do random stuff.
I'm being polite. I've been watching. I'm being polite. You guys are hysterical.
No, I just saw this tail go like this.
Yeah, I just saw that too out of the corner of my eye.
The David was just perfectly still the whole time.
He's trying not to break. I saw it. You see, I'm used to it because my cat's next door right now. But when she gets back here, oh my God, you guys are going to see her and everything. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Like, please check out the Dalek. It's Dalek Builders of Florida, right?
Daleks of Florida, Dalek Builders of Florida, and Daleks of Arrakos is the sister. Yeah, that's DALEKHAL and Dalek Ren. They have their own individual site. And for all the videos that you see us on the shorts and everything, that's DALEKHAL. He's a fully functioning Dalek, and when I mean fully functioning, he can light up, he can talk, he can shoot. Yep, he can shoot, he can move. He can exterminate. It only lasts for a short amount of time because you need a special. What's that stuff that you use on your desk for the spray can stuff? To clean your.
Oh, the air spray.
Yeah. They use the DALEKHAL uses that air spray, that compression spray. To shoot people.
More like a movie Dalek.
Like a movie Dalek, yeah. Hey, if I could get half of a Dalek that could do half of what Hal does, Ren is just
They should give out little plungers
for your toilet,
especially after that episode.
Right, let's move on.
Well, somebody's career is sort of allegedly. We bring this up right now, so it does tie in and everything.
Special plumbing service.
Yeah, but like I said, it does coincide with what we're going to talk about now because his career is going down the toilet based on what's been happening. As you all know, Neil Gaiman has allegedly been accused of something that also John Berryman has been accused of and everything. And outside sources keep it goes one way, another. But we are finding out that Disney has cut ties with him. Dark Horse Comics has cut ties with him. We don't know what the future is for Good Omens on Prime, but a lot of people, because of this, are distancing themselves from Neil and his works and everything. They've interviewed survivors, they say. They've interviewed other people, but everyone is just one side. Nobody's coming together to figure out where it started from, how it happened, and what's going to happen later on now. Is it going to be going to a trial? Is it going to be solved out of court? Does he lose royalty rights? And everybody's up in the air because it's so new. But it also ties into how John Barrowman also is supposed to be blackballed, but he has a show, but BBC doesn't want him, but other people do. It's like, is he going to recover, or is he not going to recover? Is he going to the media with this? Like, it's just right now speculation based on what others have said, and he's right now doing damage control with his PR team as well.
Well, here's the thing about, you see, and I'll go back a little bit to the beginning, when we talked about John Barrowman, because here's the thing with John Barrowman. First of all, when he goes on his apology and tells people he's sorry, I'm just like, what are you being sorry for? You're not apologizing to me. I don't know who you're apologizing to. You were already absolved by the people who, had control of the situation. I'm curious as to why the BBC hasn't apologized and started fixing things on their side.
Mm-hmm.
If they allowed that kind of behavior to go on, now it's kind of a mix. It's a mixed thing. These companies are going like, we want to try to protect everybody. We have a zero tolerance level of things. And in that case, they had John Barrowman do what he did, allegedly what Noel Clarke said he did. But Barrowman did deny it. He said he already took care of it. It was supposed to be water under the bridge. So as far as I'm concerned, and the other thing is with John Barrowman, people came out to see this. People would spend tickets to spend nights with John Barrowman dressed up in a TARDIS skirt, walking over grown men. People wanted to see this, and it was just like, okay, you know what, you festered. And tell me if I'm, if anybody wants to correct me, or if I'm looking at this in the wrong direction, tell me I'm wrong. They kind of bring this on. I'm not saying they deserve it. Or
the actors.
I mean, like, I would say the corporations at this point.
Mm.
Because if they didn't level him down and just say, hey, no, we don't have what you did. I mean, if any of us did it, if I went out and went to a job, anything that I did, and I did exactly that, not only would I be gone, nobody would ever hear about me again. I would not have a job. Mm-hmm. But God forbid, that's not the most sanitary thing I've ever heard anybody do on a damn set. It's just like people took it. So I'm just like, either you condone this or you don't, but I think Gaiman has a different approach. At least John Barrowman, it was, I don't want to say acceptable, but the people who were around him accepted what happened. He did his thing, and everybody moved on. With Gaiman, I think his situation is totally, completely different. Mm-hmm. And where do you draw the line? Because Barrowman is supposed to be blackballed.
And the funny part is, with Gaiman, they rushed to it to cut him off. John, they gave him time, you know what I mean, and stuff like that before they really cut him off.
Well, John hasn't made any broadcast TV or a film since 2021.
Right, and he's also going. He's also going on tour right now, called the show Bear All, and he's going to talk about what happened. I'm just like, okay, mm-hmm. But with Neil, like I said, where do you draw the line between sin and sinner? And
well, this happens at conventions also too. Like, where is the line drawn? Like, you know what I mean? Not only do writers, TV stars, and you have this at conventions with certain things and stuff too. Like, where does it stop? Why are people acting this way? If this is all alleged right now, mm-hmm. we don't want to know the proof yet, because we want it collected, because we know there might be a court, there might be trial, there might be whatever, depending on this situation. But it happens all over, and who gets away with it and who doesn't get away with it. That's the thing.
We just want to make one thing clear. These are all alleged. We are not on one side or the other. We are just trying to bring you the news as is. We're not saying anything with the exception that these things have happened.
Mhm.
We'll keep an eye on it to see how things go. But
like I said, the articles I was getting, you had, depending on if you were in Europe, there was one version. If you were here in the United States, there was another version. If you were in, I even found a Canada paper, and the same thing happened too. It was like all different things that they were depending on what side you were on for this. But then the latest one was interviewing one of the survivors, and I'm like, okay, now we have to stop. I have to figure out where this is. We're just going to report it and let it go as it is, because we don't know if there's going to be trial or what.
Well, I heard what I know, Roger, from what I've heard in the circuit, Good Omens was dropped from a season to an episode, or like a one thing movie, and that's going to be it, because I think they've already filmed it, or they're in the middle of it, and they said, you know what, we're already halfway. But like I said, where do we cut the line? Where do we go into the Bill Cosby of things? I mean, it's are we going to pull Nightmare in Silver and the Doctor's Wife off of it? Because the episode that we're reviewing, I don't know his name, Mark, but the episode we're reviewing, they're pulling the guy who made a cameo.
Yeah.
So it does tie in.
The commentator. Yeah.
The commentator. I'm like, well, okay, where do you guys draw the line? Because now, in this episode, are you going to start living up to the expectations? Hollywood has come up, and how many Harvey Weinsteins are in there. I mean, just like even more. I mean, like Christopher Eccleston. Why did he say that all the producers of Doctor Who should be fired?
We know that there were casting couches. You know what I mean? In society, there were casting couches.
Right. And the other thing is that I don't want to. A good friend of mine said this. I don't want to believe in conspiracy theories. Stop giving me a reason why I should believe in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ride on a conspiracy theory, but all of a sudden, the Lego puzzle is starting to build up, and I'm just like, all the pieces are fitting. So where do we go with this?
And you don't know who you're going to offend, who you're not going to offend, who fights you because you're on that side of it. And trust me, I understand that completely when it comes to things of this nature and everything. When you're asking for help, and they would side more with the one that caused it versus what the proof is showing. You know what I mean? Like, let's work together and figure this out. You know what I mean?
I mean, what do you guys think about this? And timescales, you never heard of a couch. I have, and nobody will invite me to one. So I'm just letting you know.
I was lucky I wasn't the generation of the casting couch, because by the time I ended up in working with certain studios and everything, the casting couch went out the window.
So what do you guys think about this?
Well, I mean, I see a clear difference between Barrowman and Gaiman. First of all, because Gaiman is abusing a position of power and taking, like in the allegations, he is abusing a position of power and displaying a pattern of behavior of victimizing, specifically victimizing women, to satisfy his own ego. Barrowman, I mean, I used to act. I'd like to act again, but the fact is, somebody walking around with their junk out is not, like, it's rarer on film sets, especially when you're not doing a nude scene. But like those, and I don't want to dismiss it the way that we try to dismiss other things, as like locker room talk and all that kind of stuff. But like, you see stuff, and you can flash people. There's always that one, maybe two or three, who will find that funny and just flash you at inappropriate moments because they're bored in a theatrical performance and they want you to break character or something. And I'm not condoning it, but I also don't see any real malevolence in it, because as much as even I don't necessarily want to see John Barrowman's appendage. I don't really care if I do.
What did Austin Power call it?
Yeah, baby. But I, at full disclosure, when I used to work in theater for high school and college, this was the norm. I'm not saying somebody was taking their junk out, but I meant when they would push the I guess for better term, the sexual button, I meant everybody was under the assumption, there was a line drawn, but they were really, on the flirtatious level, on the fun level, and it was out of fun, and we did it out of respect. But at some point, when do you start coming in, and then the Harvey Weinstein start to show up, and the Bill Cosby's, and all,
And also, I mean, you also don't want to excuse the behavior if, like, they've been told, stop doing it, it's making people uncomfortable. Then that's where you start getting into issues.
Right. And John was given the chance to stop, and he did for a while, and then he had to flash his bottom again. So that counts against him. But I definitely wouldn't talk about the same, the two guys in the same situation. They're very different. Different things to tackle, if I may use the word tackle. Sorry.
Hey, all I know is when I was acting on Law and Order, all those other things as an extra, we didn't have changing rooms. So everybody was just like in these little cubbies, putting sheets up, trying to make sure that we could get changed and everything. Because when you're an extra, it's like you were seeing everything, and like everyone was trying to, like, and they apologized and everything because they knew we're sorry and because it was the quickest way to get changed and everything.
Yeah.
But when it's done deliberately is when now you have to say no and everything and stuff. And when did no become yes, yes become no? Remember that generation?
Well, we're seeing it transition, especially with the Me Too movement. The problem is
you have to see what men on that side and women also with the Me Too, because we don't know.
I mean, like I said, where's the line drawn? Because the things that happened back in the 60s and 70s are going to be totally different from the 80s and 90s and today. Are we better behaved? I don't think we are. I truly don't think we are.
Probably not.
We're just trying to, push out that we have this appearance that we are better behaved. But again, like I said, I worked in theater and I got to know women's religion a little bit better because they only had like 5 seconds to change their clothes and move over to the next scene. And I'm just like, well, I kind of thought, well, as somebody, I know I try to turn my head because I'm modest, but in the meantime, oh, yay. And the same time, it was like,
I had an actor while I was sitting catty corner. I'll give you a good one. There's a famous actor who was in Men in Black and everything. I worked on the movie with him and everything, and I'm sitting there as an extra, and lucky I had biker shorts on because every time my chair would move because of the way the camera was, I had to stay sitting like this, and he's watching my skirt go up, and he's going, come on, and then he sees the purple biker shorts, and he's like, oh, you tease.
Timescales, just like I'm going to rephrase it, it's, I don't want to talk about conspiracy theories, so stop making me talk about conspiracy. There's just no way that we can get around.
Right.
This.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shall we get back on topic, Ben?
Absolutely, but
I think we're trying to avoid the topic of the movie or the television. I think that's what we're doing.
No, we'll be here for another hour. So, guys, let's get back to reviewing Fear Her. And let's go ahead round robin so we can get to the commercial break. Gadget, can you write these down for us? I'm sorry.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Can you write these down for us? Just I don't have.
Oh, the things, sure.
Yeah.
Let me find a thingy. Yeah, just gotta find a piece of paper, and we're good. Okay.
Charlotte is abused right now. She's acting so abused.
No, she wants to see the kitty in there. She wants to see her favorite actor.
Mr. Cammy Dan Mark, give us a number between 1 and 10.
You know me. You know I'm going to do a point of the TARDIS, so I'm going to give it 6.3 recursive.
6.3.
Can't take you anywhere. Nick Smith, what would you rate Fear Her?
I really wanted to love this episode. I remembered it fondly, but it only gets a 7 from me.
A 7. Well, that's still higher than Mark's out there. Mr. David Adams.
I'm gonna go with. I'll bump it to a 6. I was thinking 5, but I'll bump it to a 6.
What does Charlotte say? What's her number?
Has a cat, so 10.
10.
Okay.
We'll give Charlie 10.
Gadget, what's your number?
Almost like Mark's, but I'm gonna. I was going 5, going 6. But yeah, 6.5. I'm gonna go with because it didn't have a 7 because there's too much psychological stuff, and that's more what they focused on. They didn't focus on everything else. It was 2 different stories in one. Yeah.
You're giving it too much credit to even call it psychological. Anyway, we'll get back to the opinions when we get back. Mark is going to lead off the pack. When we return, we are going to be discussing and reviewing disgusting. Discussing. Wow, you already got my rating. I haven't told my rating.
You really don't like this
Send us your
episode.
ratings.
That was my rating. When we return, we're going to talk about Fear Her. When we get up, make sure to go ahead into the chats right now and put your number between 1 and 10 and why. We'll be returning. Please continue to stay logged on and tune in. Oh, God.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this. I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Ashley Eckstein. Most of you may know me as the voice of Ahsoka Tano and also the founder of her universe. And this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Welcome back, fellow Whovians. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. I'm here with Gadget, the Candyman, Mark Robinson. I'm with David and the lovely Charlotte and Nick Smith with Nick Smith Films. And I left the banner up. Damn it.
Well, you'll be seeing Ashley at MegaCon also and everything.
Yep, that's why we got her picture up there. We will be seeing Ashley out there. And don't forget, next week, our special episode, our MegaCon pre-show package. We're going to have, we're going to be introducing Faith. I'm hoping she'll be on the show, Jessica. We're just going to have some folks who are going to be at MegaCon who are going to be participating that weekend. Remember, it's 4 days of pure fun from February 6th to the 9th. You can just go ahead and do a search for MegaCon or fanexpohq.com. /MegaCon Orlando to get your tickets now. And we'll be there with the Dalek builders. There's a pretty picture of all the pictures Faith could use. She got me in that one, for crying out loud.
That one.
I was the only 7th Doctor there, so I was actually pretty proud of that, but that's the few times you'll ever see me cosplay in this garb.
But you did it well. You did it well. So good on you.
You guys
You're
are
representing.
I will send a Dalek plunger to your house to clean up. So without further ado,
I have a makeshift Sonic somewhere around here that needs to be glued back together.
So without further ado, let's go ahead and review the episode. And for those of you just joining us, we are reviewing Fear Her. Tonight, go ahead and put your numbers in the chat, 1 through 10, 1 being awful, 10 being great, and all those in between, or those point. What is it? The good point
David had 6, Mark had 6.3, I had 6.5, Nick had
6.33333.
So I get wait a minute, David, you said 6? I thought you had.
I said 6.
Okay, so you are going first, my friend. Hang on 1 second there. Let's go ahead. Yeah, 1 to 10.
Charlotte is right in this shot.
We always do the lowest number first. Oh, we'll never get over this episode. So we're going to start with the lovely David and Charlotte.
All right.
6. What the hell was wrong with you?
Is our cat levitating right now?
She's sitting on my on the back of my chair.
Levitating.
All right. So to start off with, the I don't like the Olympics, and I don't really like children. At least not on TV most of the time. So that's not going to help.
One of them. Throw the kids out.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I would have been happy to give this episode a 9 or a 10 if the Doctor had just tossed Chloe in a bin and then spent the rest of the episode annoying the Olympic torchbearer with his angst-ridden whimsy. That would have been great.
Yikes.
But instead, what we end up with is, more seriously, what my problem with the episode is the stakes are extremely high, but the episode feels small, and that's a disagreement that just does not work for me. Especially, I don't want to get into it because Gadget's going to, but the psychology angle that is, yes, important to this episode, but it feels kind of just it's shallow and superficial. Honestly, if I had to guess, I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I think that this might have started off as a pitch for the Absorbaloff episode Love and Monsters. I kind of think that it was they tossed it out to the group. Okay, we got this kid's drawing that's going to be a monster. How are we going to work it into an episode? Everybody go out and pitch me ideas. They do describe how this episode was written on Wikipedia. I checked, but I kind of think it started that way. It explains, the whole absorbing people into drawings, and the original scale of the Absorbaloff would match how that character or that creature could take out 80,000 spectators at an arena. And the thing is, Chloe's powers, as they're presented in this episode, do not explain how she's able to create the scribble creature or her father, or the depiction of her father, and manifest things out of drawing as well. So I kind of think that the original idea was the Absorbaloff is one of her drawings that she wrote into existing, and that's that part of it. Doesn't matter. It just struck me while I was watching it this time that would make sense. And that's that's where it really breaks down for me, is that it's just, like I said, decent ideas, bad script. I think if they had centered the episode around Chloe more and explored the psychology in a more direct way, instead of Doctor and Rose show up, notice things wrong, and have a typical adventure, it would have been better. I don't want to leave it without some good points, though, because I do think there are good points to the episode. It's one of the things I love about it is it's a Rose-centric episode. So it shows her character development in that Doctor vanishes, and instead of panicking, she just gets on with it. She knows what to do. She just needs to figure out how she can do it without him. And she saves the day herself, essentially. Well, aside from not being the one who grabs the torch in the end, but whatever. And also it is, because the subtext is all about loneliness, it's about the dog, like it's 100% thematically exploring the Doctor's loneliness. And it's about her learning or getting a greater insight into that, as well as discovering that he has key elements of his past that he hasn't shared with her. I was a father once, etc. But and also I do want to shout out, even though I said that the Doctor should have thrown her in a bin, the actor, like I do want to shout out, I want to get this right, Abisola Agbaje, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Fantastic performance as Chloe. I mean, she is straight up terrifying at points. She was wonderful. And the woman who played her mother, Nina Sosanya, also fantastic performance. They're just both reading really terrible lines. And that's the problem for me.
Okay, gotcha. So, David, what you're saying is, what you're saying is, Love and Monsters walks into the room and goes, "I can be the crappiest script ever," and Fuhrer goes, "Hold my wine."
Yeah, basically is exactly.
Hold my candy.
Hold my candy. Yeah.
No, I've got the candy.
And he's next.
Well, good grief. Okay. A lot to unpack over there, and we got a lot of people in the chats out here, but we're going to get to your numbers after we get through the panelists out there. So I think
Mark is next.
Mark's next with 6.3 Infinity. God,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why? Go ahead, Mark.
Why?
Tell us what you thought.
Wow. Let's start at the beginning. The first thing is, you don't have East London Constabulary. There's no such thing. Even when this film was, because this was shot, how many years before 2012?
6.
6 years.
Yeah.
So they didn't know what was actually going to go on with Olympics, and how much turmoil it had and what was going on. So everyone was just like, "Oh, this may happen." And the other thing which really struck me to be really stupid, they pan a shot of a road of a cul-de-sac. So you're telling me the Olympic runner run down the cul-de-sac to come back up? Was it me, or did anyone notice that?
No, he's running past.
I do now.
Like, let's run inside this road and let's run back out just to go. Not that I have to run all the way through the United Kingdom with all the different towns. I'm just going to go round this this one-way little cul-de-sac. Sorry, that was that dropped it down by loads of marks. Battery storyline. A girl possessed by an alien drawing pictures because the alien was lonely and wanted to have friends, and the only way he can get friends was to basically absorb them into paper to be with friends and trapping them. This reminds me a bit like the robot from the stories, which the Big Finish audio stories. Rather than being an alien in a child's body possessed, there was an AI robot trying to work out what production is. Again, it's the same sort of theme, not knowing what friendship is or what lonely is, and basically try to entrap people. So on those lines, it was very good. The actress done it really well, especially when basically making her mum afraid of her as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was all good. This is why I was giving the stories. It felt like watching a never-ending story. You know, that concept of like reading the book, but rather than reading the book, you're actually drawing the pictures. So I think it had a lot of potential, but it was just set wrongly. It was just set. It didn't know whether or not it wanted to be an Olympic story, whether or not it wanted to be a horror story, or whether or not it just wanted to just be a not the Doctor episode and let's have Rose take her out. So, but I think it was trying to do too many things in one thing.
I'll agree to that. That it was just so unfocused. It was just, where are we going with this?
Yeah, it was like, let's run down the street with a torch. Oh, no, let's put the Olympics on. Okay, let's have a East London Newham council digging up the road because it's trying to cover up a spaceship. What the hell? What are you trying to do? I think they should have left the Olympics out, concentrate more on the psychological horror, and maybe if it was to do with an alien possession, fine, do it better. But it was just so quick, so far. Yeah, just 6.3. Sorry, I could just keep going on about it because.
Fine.
And that's the other thing is, right?
I did
Union Jacks everywhere. What was this? Is it supposed to be Olympics or was it supposed to be for the Jubilee?
Coronation, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they went to a dollar store and found something they could take.
I'm not sure, but no one in the right mind will put Union Jacks out, Union flags out for the Olympics.
Well, apparently Russell T Davies. Or the director. I mean, the thing was, the director is Euros Lyn, and I'm just like, Euros knows better than to do what this. I think it was just this scene right here.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of liked it and didn't like it. It was just like, I kind of like the idea that somebody who has a minute job in our world, in our perspective, everything that he did when he patched up that road, it's perfect and everything. I kind of like that attempt at having a character. It's just like, this is my world. And then Rose comes out there with a hack. Good job, Rose. Like, okay. But I did like the character. You're right. Was it a comedy? Was it horror, science fiction? What's going on?
Yeah, it was just too much. It was too much and not enough space.
I would actually have condoned, and I know that's stealing, but you were mentioning the robot from The Big Finish. I was thinking of an episode from Star Trek, and I don't know if I remember. It's The Next Generation, where a little girl befriends an alien girl.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. I don't remember the episode, but she's mean and everything, and she tells the one girl, don't follow the. I think that would have been a better story, even though it would have been a direct copy. It's just like the aliens going like, oh, I'm going to screw up this planet.
Deanna and everything.
You're treating her wrong, but.
Welcome to the legend
exactly
of traveling empathize.
Yeah, but then you had the scribble monster, and I just like, okay, what is? And you know what? Chloe's not a great drawer.
Right.
Like, who did you suck into the?
You remember the Scribble cartoon that we used to watch from the '60s and everything? That's what that reminded me of. That little scribble thing with Harold the Purple Crayon, the scribble thing.
Made me think of SpongeBob.
This was another problem I had.
Maybe think of picture pages when Bill Cosby would bring out the marker. It's like, this is an evil picture pages. It was just so bizarre. I was just like, okay, and like I said, Chloe wasn't like Rembrandt. I mean, it was just like drawing. I'm like, that could be anybody.
Well, that's the other problem I had as well with Chloe's drawing. When she drew the cat, to be a friend with a person.
Yeah.
Did you notice that she only had one pencil? And the cat had multiple colours.
Mm-hmm.
That was like all in one pencil.
She's talented. What do you want from her?
Her alien powers, right there.
I've got this nice graphite HB pencil, which can do different colours.
Yeah, one pencil, right?
Yeah, but is it HB?
It is. I know I got a ton of them over here. Let's see, because
Never
remember
needs to be
I
sharpened.
also have a habit
Default is
of
8B.
doing artwork.
I did, Tom.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Well,
Let me bring it up. Bring it up.
bring it up. Okay, this was done in the year 2000 before my car accident. I'm trying to get it away. There you go. Everything.
Ooh,
The oils.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's like
That's cool.
with this theme, art could mean anything. It could be therapy. It could be a way of expressing yourself. But in her case, why I gave it my review is because, like, you all hit points. We didn't know what type of episode this was, because when I first saw it years ago, I thought I was walking into Lost Boys when I saw the missing kids posters and everything and stuff, right? So I was like, okay, maybe it's like a Lost Boys. We're gonna do a vampires or something because kids are missing or something like that. Maybe they're doing something like that type of theme, right? Then you just see the kids playing and the grandmother saying, be careful and all stuff. And I'm just looking like, okay, understandable. They're getting ready for something. Then you see they're saying, get the kids off the streets, get this, right? So I'm like, okay, there's already turmoil. Everyone's got somewhat of a fear, right? And everything. The mom is like trying to get her attention and everything. She's always looking out the window at the kids playing. So I was thinking maybe she has social anxiety disorder, or she was autistic, or something had happened that maybe they moved to the neighborhood and she's brand new. And that's why she's looking at the kids, trying to see if she can make friends. I thought it was that at first and everything. But then I thought maybe the mom was keeping her indoors because of the missing kids and everything. So I was like, okay, where are we going with this, right? And then all of a sudden you see the other boy disappear. And then it's like the mom looks up, all this other stuff and everything. And she's just stoned, like basically stoned. Like there's no emotions, nothing, which she did a good job of that, because that's where I thought it was autism and everything and stuff. But then when I see the drawing, I'm like, okay, is she not a real human child? Is she an alien? Is she something, or she has powers? And so I just kept like trying to figure out. And then I was watching and I kept seeing how the mom was reacting, how everything around them. And then when the doctor and Rose showed up, I was like, okay, first of all, he made a mistake and put the door the wrong way. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He never does that, maybe once in a while. And then when they're walking through everything, trying to figure everything out with the Olympics. It's funny how it coincides that we did get the Olympics in 2012 and everything. They were just having a fun day, checking out things and stuff. And then all of a sudden, he's getting tingly feelings and stuff. And he's also giving her a chance to explore everything for herself and everything, giving her more of the, like, being the partner. Like he said, this is my partner and everything, and stuff. But then when things started getting to see more of Chloe and everything, you can see that she wants friends. She wants this. And then I'm thinking, okay, maybe she has anxiety or something, or borderline personality disorder, because her mom said she was abused from the father and everything, that they got out of a relationship and he had died or something, but you weren't sure if he died or not. So were they having trauma from like an abusive relationship? Were they domestic violence? Was she paranoid of her daughter because of that? Were they narcissistic? You couldn't tell at first and everything, and then when you see the father being drawn in the room, that's Chloe's memories of being abused and everything, because she does want her dad back, but the alien, you don't know is the alien yet, inside her was presuming that the reason why the father was probably like that was that's all Chloe knew, was that type of version of it. So like I said, is that like Stockholm syndrome? Is that like there was so many different aspects of different personality disorders or social disorders, you didn't know where they were going with it. Because I would have seen it better as if basically she was an autistic child. The parents didn't know. The father was abusive. I would have seen it that way. They got out of there. And when they finally moved to the neighborhood, because of her autism, I would have said she's trying to figure out how to do everything, feels lonely. And then the alien comes because it's now away from its family, feeling lonely, and figured I'll help her get over her fear of basically making friends, not knowing what's going on. But through perception, that alien saw something in her behavior, thinking that was normal behavior, because it just wanted not to be lonely either. So that's anxiety as well as abandonment syndrome, and everything like that. And it just went all over the place. Like you didn't know where they were going. And then the possession, when he finally puts her to sleep, the doctor knew that's not the Chloe. And even the mother was saying, when she had the seizure, going like, oh, sing to her, sing to her. And the mother's fear of telling her and talking to her about what her dad did to her. So that was all pent up in there. So it was basically, they took everything and just scribbled it all into a ball of everything, because you didn't know how to feel for her, because I could see if she's autistic or if she was abused or anything. They never pinpointed what it was. And then to have the side story where they had to find the spaceship, the Olympics, and that he had OCD, like he was always trying to make sure it was perfect, the pavement and everything and stuff. And the cars, dead giveaway, like I was so obvious, the cars are dying in that one spot. Hello, spaceship in the killing all the electrical field, and stuff like that. Like I thought the doctor would have caught on to that right away, but not know, you know what I mean? And then Rose caught on to where it was, because she said it needed heat and tar and everything, but it was just too much. It was like you had that psychological of being abused, and could she be autistic? Could she not? Social anxiety, all this, and then the mother's PTSD. It was too much and everything. It could have done good with just an Olympic episode, like the spaceship episode with the Olympics together, the fire, the love, and everything like that. Her episode could have been about missing children, autism, and learning to be social with people. It was too many episodes in it.
I'd say she had daddy issues, but that's just me.
Very bad, yeah.
Very bad daddy issues.
Yes.
And actually, while both Gadget and Candyman were speaking, it also occurred to me that one of the things about the writing of this episode is it's specifically supposed to be a lighter episode to lead into a darker finale for the series. And missing kids? That's where you go to with a lighter episode?
English.
I thought it was more like something where they're doing something for national children or something that are missing, like putting up the posters. I thought they were doing stuff like that, like they did in Lost Boys, where these were actual missing people and they put it up in the thing and stuff. So I thought that's what this was at first, something about, oh, we're going to help children and everything. And then to go, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Gadget, do that karate chopping thing.
I know, I can do all those crazy things, yeah.
I like
it. When I was on set, I had a bunch of people who taught me hair, makeup, and everything, and fun little, yeah. I miss those people. I hope they're watching. I really do. Subscribe, guys, if you are watching. If you remember me from acting with Law and Order, Trust the Man, We Own the Night, with Joaquin Phoenix, like all those. If you guys remember me, just subscribe, guys, because I miss you all.
Got it. Speaking of missing him, Nick, your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear Nick's version.
I'm here to champion fear here. I'm here to give it some kind of goodness, although everyone has made really good points. So 2012, I was there. I went to London in 2012 to visit my family, and I remember everyone was dressed up and excited about the Olympics. So
did you see the Union Jacks hanging in the windows?
I don't remember a lot of Union Jack. No, sideways
we all
Union Jack.
stole them and put them in this show. Nobody had them.
But yeah, people were proud that the Olympics were being held in England. So it kind of worked. So yeah, I wanted to check it out again. I watched it last night for this show, and it just wasn't as good as I remembered. Yeah. It is great to see Tan flouncing around in his long brown coat. He's running down the street.
I'm missing.
And then he starts sniffing about and kind of investigating, and it reminded me of Patrick Troughton in the Moon Base, where he's kind of getting in people's way and messing around. That was fun. I love the banter between him and Rose. Isn't it great? There's a lot of fun and clever dialogue. We don't have that kind of chemistry right now with the current Doctor and his last companion. I'd love to see that kind of thing again. There's some great lines about him as well. He believes in the things you see out the corner of your eye. I thought that was a really good description of the Doctor. And he says he was a dad once. The good thing about when he says that is Rose's reaction to it. She's like, wait a second, who's the mom? Are there kids? Where are they? So you can see all these questions kind of clicking in her mind. As far as it, packing in too much, definitely. It's kind of a cross between It's a Good Life, the Twilight Zone episode with Billy Mooney as the kid who can change reality, and the parents are scared of him.
That was exactly the episode I thought of.
Yeah. And Paper House, it's a British TV play, and it was also made into a movie. It's about a kid who draws a paper house, and her abusive dad comes back to life and stalks her. So we've got the paper house dad in the closet. And then I like to think of it as The Exorcist for kids, because we've got Chloe possessed on the bed.
Yeah.
The doctor, I guess he's Father Merrin. You know, the power of Doctor Who that tells you.
Oh, now you're going to make a cosplay now. There's going to be a Doctor Who priest.
Wait a minute.
Is That'll be the next movie.
TARDIS, yeah.
We got an old priest and a young priest.
But yeah, the doctor's trying to help her. She's on the bed. She's not in control of herself. It's trying to do all these different things. And Olympics. I like it because it's an anti-Doctor Who. It does not have an alien menace trying to conquer and destroy. They actually put this in the dialogue. We're not dealing with something that wants to conquer or destroy. How does the Doctor deal with something that's not a normal menace? You know, that's the challenge. How does he fix a problem that isn't something he deals with every week? So that's cool to see. Although obviously it doesn't quite work. We want that threat. We want that monster. Real monster, not a scribble monster, but a real one to deal with. So sad that it doesn't work, but also happy that they made it. It's also a padding episode, and I feel like we need those. We couldn't just jump from the Satan pit, the devil incarnate, straight to Daleks and Cybermen. You know, we need a slower, less huge epic episode, or two. We got two here, to just let us breathe for a second before we jump into more big stuff. And I think that the last season 1/14, that kind of struggled with that, because we were jumping from one epic story to another. We did not have that chance to breathe so much. So I like the padding. I also like that it's aimed at children. Like David said, it was supposed to be lighter. It's supposed to be specifically aimed at kids before we went super dark and bad things happened to Rose. But it does deal with a dark subject. I'm surprised the parents aren't more upset. Firstly, that their kids are gone, but also emotional wrecks when their kids return. You know, you remember that dad just puts the kid on his shoulders. He's like, hey, I'm all happy now. I'd be like, crying.
Nick, I'm glad.
I'd be like,
Nick, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've always had that running joke in my head. My dad brought this up to me a while back, and he goes, son, when you watch soap operas, you notice that every Christmas there's children, and then after that episode, all the kids are gone.
Just scribbled away.
Yeah, it's just
they're
like
cool
nobody
in boarding
cares.
school. They're away at boarding school.
Who do they belong to? What? I just like, I remember for a very short time I watched, I think it was General Hospital, because I think I was sick at one point or something like that. But I remember it took 3 months that this bomb was supposed to go off at some kind of circus or something like that. It took them like 3 months. I mean, they were leading the story up to this moment, and then I missed an episode, and I missed the episode where the bomb went off. So I never watched it again. It was just like, I just reminded of that. My dad's going like, do you ever see those kids? Well, like, funny. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm glad you watched that stuff.
I got one more thing to say. The first time I watched it, just that whole thing with the 10th Doctor lighting the Olympic torch at the end, I was watching it. It's a very small story, purposefully written, to be set in this suburb.
Yes.
And by the way, Candyman, the route goes past the cul-de-sac, okay? The route doesn't go into the cul-de-sac.
No,
and then,
it goes into
And I love how it says BBC News. Did they recycle that for 2012?
Probably. It's the BBC. They recycle everything.
Yeah, every day.
So the Doctor picks up this torch, and he's on TV and running past the crowd, and I'm thinking this is so audacious. I'm like, Russell T Davies, you did it. You did this crazy thing. of, putting the Doctor in the spotlight. Usually he's behind the scenes, he's a mysterious character, but now it's like doing this crazy thing of letting him light the torch. Just the audacity of that fascinated me. So that's why I liked it so much until I watched it again. No, I don't like it so much. The child actor.
Okay, I was waiting for somebody to say it.
It does look like a bowling pin. The child actress for me is not that great, but it probably because I just watched Train to Busan, which has a great.
Oh, yeah, no comparison.
She can cry on a dime, whereas Chloe is just doesn't really give us enough to make the episode work, and that's a problem. When you're kind of fixing an episode around a child, it has to be a really good actress.
I'm still getting over the bowling pin. It would have probably been cheaper to buy the actual torch than a bowling pin for the damn. Good God.
And then in this episode, he has no tie. Did you notice that? Every other episode, he has a tie. This one, he has no tie.
Hey, it was a Doctor episode light, so might as well dress it down.
They couldn't afford the tie.
God.
It's his sports mode. It's the sporty one.
Exactly. This is his grunge phase, remember?
Well, that's why it was the best TARDIS. It was the grungy TARDIS.
All right, before I ruin your day by going over my ratings, let me go ahead and bring up the ratings over here for our audience. Timescales Fair Hair rates 4.4 out of 10 on the timescales with 175 votes. Wow. I didn't know it was an election, but anyway. Jim, I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm sorry to ruin your day. I'm really watching the TARDIS reappear between two garbage bins, and the Doctor couldn't. You know what? I do think that's probably one of the better openings I've seen in Doctor Who. Is that
it made me laugh?
It was
hard.
like you are. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a laugh, but you laughed a little bit too hard watching that little scene. And,
and I'm wondering if they did that on purpose to him in production. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did. Let's see here. Dan Holyfield, I would give it a 5. It wasn't horrible, wasn't that great either. I probably are with you on that one. I have to rethink it from a psychological point of view, but now well, shut up. Why was that the rating? Anigo Bad, I agree with Dan. I give it a 5. It could have been better. The connections between Zoe and the tiny alien could have given more depth, and I think that's where they should have put the focus.
Of course, absolutely.
Roger, I'm up here with Jim. I give it an 8.8. I'm glad Rose was able to save the Doctor again. Timescale says, having reviewed it, wondering why 175 people on Timescales only gave it 4.4, 10. It's a wide variety of angst. Tom, go ahead and make sure that you check out Spill the Geek Tea. Hearing proper diagnosis of the show is supposed to be, I would go with a 9. And I saved this one for last because I've just got an ego so big with that kind of number. This channel did another milestone of 50,500 subscribers while streaming. Well, no, we didn't hit it. We had it. But we're
Wait, I wonder what we're at now at the end of the show.
Well, believe it or not, that is actually Christian's score, 50.500.
Right.
Hey, when you showed earlier, it was 50 to 1, like a betting horse.
5.0 with 500 ascending, whatever you call that number, damn thing. All right, so I guess we're gonna bring it up to me. I'm gonna just go say it. I gave it a 3.
All right. Good on you.
I'm going to be totally honest. If you took Orphan 55, The Timeless Children, and this episode and threw it in a black hole and made it disappear, I would not miss it. I would probably be dancing on that black hole right now. I think I just agree with everybody's assessment of this. I just didn't know where it was going. There were some funny bits. There were some funny moments, but it didn't add to anything. It didn't make it cohesive. It was just like the best thing about this episode was David Tennant and Billie Piper were in it. That's it. As far as the family is concerned, I love the mother. She did so well. I didn't like Chloe, and it's not on Chloe. I just don't think Euros gave her the direction I wanted. I wanted her. I mean, she could be terrifying, but she's cute. I want Linda Blair spitting out these burgers. Terrifying. I just wanted something, kids can be really scary if you set them up and prop them up right. And it was just too lighty for me. And, when she would just do the, I'm a really scary alien, I'm like, you're not convincing anybody else. I'm just like,
the autism and Asperger's, because sometimes they have those little quirks and little ticks and everything and stuff.
No, that's fine. But I'm just referring, if that were the case, see, this is where the confusion lies, because you brought in the psychological and I'm bringing in the story side of things.
Right.
On my perspective, it was like, pick one lane or the other, but both of them, I know you're trying to probably bring it as a symbolism, maybe. You just poorly executed it with all the googly gunk. I do like the fact that he's eating from the what is it?
The jam jar.
I'm socially awkward.
That's what I'm saying. It was more
You're
of a
not supposed to eat that, doctor. Just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but he was eating it with his fingers. That's what
right.
It was.
It was best. My other favorite moment was when Billie Piper goes The Shining on the kid.
Yes.
With a pickaxe. I was just like, here's Rosie. Like I said, you guys mentioned the scene, but I do like the scene for whatever stupid reason. I just like the fact that there was a character who is boasting his world on this little slab of asphalt. And then here comes Rose and effing it up out there. It's just, but I for some reason I liked it. I actually wanted something more of it, but like I said, there's so much crammed into this junk. And
you could have got 3 episodes out of this.
Yeah, you probably could. You could probably do the whole episode on him, and he's just a simple guy, and the universe goes after him for some odd reason. The doctor saves him, but don't tell me a light budget means it can't be good, because. Nope. Let me just say Heaven Sent, which is right now, I forgot, I think it was Radio Times that said, what was the #1 episode of Doctor Who? And I think in the most recent poll, Heaven Sent was #1. What is it? It's Capaldi in a castle being chased by this monster. I
would watch that.
Oh, I'd watch it 1 billion times over, and it's just Capaldi talking to himself. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch that. But
my favorite episode, hands down.
Definitely, it just worked. You had Moffat, you had the direction, you had Capaldi running on all cylinders, and he's just walking around the castle with this thing chasing after him, and it was just brilliant. Maybe we should just have Doctor Who by himself anymore. And the same thing, if anybody's here on Big Finish, it's not Zagreus. Oh God, it was written. Oh, my brain's fried. But it's just the girl who plays Charlie Pollard and the 8th Doctor. They end up in a universe together, and they're stuck together. And they just came out of this huge argument. Like basically, they told each other they hate each other, and now they're stuck in a universe together and have to deal with each other, trying to figure out this universe. Yeah, I thought it was a brilliant episode. Yeah, Scherzo is the one.
Very clever,
that's all it is. These two end up from the last episode, basically, like two lovers who just basically said, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then boom, they get into Scherzo, and they're stuck in a universe together. They have no idea what it's about. And they have to work together after they just said, I hate you. It's just like, our funnies useless. They are gone. Okay. The actor's cute, which was likely why. Yeah, she's cute. Just couldn't. Look at that. Look at her face. Cute. It's like, that's too cute.
And also, she's too brightly lit. She's not in the dark.
She needs to be. I think they maybe give her a little, the lighting, a little makeup or something like that, put some clothes on, something. It's just like her, and she's just like sitting there and just like, are you okay? So and this little thing like at the end, but you know what? After what you said, Nick, I kind of like it now.
Yay.
Because you have that moment, like the moment in what was it? The Next Doctor, where the doctor's stuck in his balloon and he does his thing, and then Jackson Lake just shouts to the crowd and says, give him a cheer, give him a cheer. And you see the doctor going like, oh, I finally got a reward out of this. I finally got something.
Yeah, those moments are great.
And my favorite thing of all was, could we foreshadow yeah, we're going to be going around with each other together forever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not foreshadow something. Yeah, fine. Okay. So I gave it a 3. It didn't know where it was. You could tell that this was written in an hour. Somebody said, let's just put this together with no budget. But I think if you could have focused it out, I think if you had one focus, whether it was the psychology of the little girl, whether it was the alien, but it had to stay in focus, the scribble monster, or the girl with the daddy issues, or the kids disappearing, or going to the Olympics. And it's just like, it should have been something where the doctor landed and discovered alien tech or something going on, and then he's just going around with this girl. Nick, it was Revelation of the Daleks? What was the 7th Doctor episode with the Daleks? Remembrance of the Daleks. Yeah, the little girl. That girl messed me up.
Oh, she was creepy.
Yes.
She was creepy. I'm gonna bring that girl back. I'm just like,
no, thank you. She's too creepy.
But you see what I'm saying? It's just like she was just adorable, and it's nothing against anything. The mother was fabulous. I think the daughter, Euros, tried to do whatever we could do to possibly make her scary, and it just didn't work for me. She's too damn cute. You should have done something with her, and I think she could have probably pulled it off. Get ready for a McTeed episode. For Series 215, he did write Praxis and
Kerplum.
Those 2 episodes, I got a long story. But anyway. Really? We have 2 episodes about how bad plastic is. Okay, never mind. So this episode had great acting, but a lot of dislikes. Now I'm wondering who wrote this. The person who wrote this is Matthew Graham. I don't know much about him. Did he write any further episodes?
I'm pretty sure there's a few. I didn't look them up, but I do recall his name comes up a few times.
The Rebel Flash and the Almost People.
Okay. So why did you bring us this? And you brought us this?
Well, he was in a hurry.
And actually, on a related subject, I have to admit there is one more point that should have kicked my score down a notch at least, because of because of budget limitations. That's why they went with this episode, because this one replaced a much more budget-heavy episode written by Stephen Fry. I want that episode. I really want that episode. It got rescheduled and then canceled because it just didn't fit in to the later stuff. So
didn't it become something else? Or
nope, not this one.
Are you kidding me? Stephen Fry has something going on and we don't get it?
Yep.
Hey, Russell. Stephen Fry ain't doing anything this weekend, so go for it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's not.
Make it.
Jeez.
Make it before
part of season 3.
Don't Disney-fy it down there. Speaking of Disney-fy, I don't know where we're going with this. Just a reminder, folks. Again, next week we're going to be doing our pre-show of MegaCon 2025. We're going to be hosting 2 panels. We're going to be with the Dalek Builders. This is again from February 6th to the 9th. Get your tickets now at fanexpohq.com/MegaCon Orlando. We're going to be there. And guess what? Facebook, of all places, threw back some memories with me and old memories. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to turn our TARDIS 10 years into the past. This was MegaCon 2015.
When the TARDIS was blue.
When the TARDIS was... It was getting there. It started scratching up there, but this is just the family album of the TARDIS. Yeah, it was starting to go with it, but this is from 10 years ago. I can't believe it.
Those were cool pictures that you had gotten. Those were nice.
These are nice pictures, but especially this couple right here, or the real couple. The Team Awkward Adventures. You can check them out on TikTok. There's Souffle Girl. Good friend of mine I haven't talked to in quite some time was Catwoman right here. There she is. She kind of disappeared. I live in the Tampa area. Speaking of Disney, I wonder if he gave the costume back. And of course, Game of Thrones was popular at the time.
Mhm.
And this is my friend Danny, and she has. I'll show you her picture, but if you get a close up, you'll understand why she's a little bit more risque than I expected. Yeah. Now you get it. And
She would like EtchyCon. She'd actually fit in at EtchyCon.
She's been at conventions all over the place. She's been guests at all over the place, but I can never pronounce her last name, so I call her Danny. But that was the first picture I took of her, and I think maybe I was, Anyway, we'll take that down. So,
how many people are we going to see this year at MegaCon?
God, I don't know.
We should put up their past picture and say, were you in this picture? Would you like your picture 10 years later? Like, see then and now?
If they are there, there's been a couple of people where I like to do it then and now. If they were like at a convention 5 years ago, and then I take their picture currently. And there's some people who have there's a set of cosplayers who have their own albums that I've taken them as so many pictures of them. Faith, of course, has one. A friend of mine named Harlequin Arts, a friend of mine named Cookie Dough Cosplay. There's quite a few of the cosplayers out there. My good friend Patty Hawkins, who does the announcements, and he does the hosting for the online panels, and as well as on stage at GalaxyCon. He's got his own page out there, and there is an actual page called No Sir All 13s, where it's just nothing but 13 doctors cosplay together in their own page there. I do want one of those buttons that Christian has made. I mean, I'm in Orlando. Well, come and get it, big boy.
He will.
Oh yeah, he will. Like I said, he's somewhere.
I was shocked you're not using the button machine.
I am.
That's with the machine or without?
No, I have the.
Oh, okay.
If anybody's pressed buttons, it's the clunk, 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 and that's how I do it if I get it right. And this thing is so finicky because they provide you with like a little thin thing of paper, a little stack of round paper, a little stack of plastic to cover the buttons with, and God forbid you put in, or you have to sit there and you got to take your finger and like rub on it to make sure. Because if you get two paper or two pieces of plastic, it will jam. And that thing has reminded me, going, yeah, you put too much in there, and like I just like it's razor thin paper.
Are you making pogs, Christian?
Yes, I am. I am so 90s.
I gotta find my pogs.
Pogs are cool.
Roger says Jodie's going to be on a Netflix limited series next month called Toxic City.
Did you see her Christmas cartoon? Roger?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the old one, like from 4 or 5 years ago?
No, they had another one. I think she redid another one. It was recent this past Christmas. She was with one of the other actors.
Charlotte would like it.
Yeah, definitely Charlotte would like it.
Yes.
Also on this day, I did not know 2 things have occurred on this day that I just want to make. First of all, I didn't realize today is our 4th year on YouTube.
Wow.
To get that number on our 4th year.
Amazing.
I'm pretty damn proud of it. I'm proud of everybody who's like these folks right here who've helped out, episode by episode to help us grow out there. Unfortunately, this is a reminder of another one. 39 years ago, we did lose the Shuttle Challenger. And I don't know if anybody remembers that. Jeez. First of all, I'm going like 39 years ago. Are you kidding me?
Was I in 6th grade watching it? Because they had it on in my Catholic school and everybody just freaked out. But it was sad that day. I did see the dolphins though when they came up.
I don't know if we went outside or watched TV. It was kind of a blur. And then the teachers, I think if they thank you, Nico. Appreciate it. From what I remember, I think the teachers didn't know what to do because we were kind of like, they were still like, okay, what's going on? So they didn't really tell us much. And again, this is from what I remember. And it was just like, I came home to understand it more after I talked to my parents what had happened. and you're a kid, you can't even get the scope, and it's like, oh no, they'll be okay. I saw, the little thing. Somebody said that the cockpit came out and and splashing in the water, but nobody bothered to tell me, oh yeah, that we're going 100 miles an hour into that damn water. Nobody's gonna survive.
Well, do you remember the Punky Brewster episode? That's how I was like, it was explained to me because nobody really explained it.
We didn't know. We just never had an incident like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Columbia, I think Columbia broke up 2 days prior, 2 days ago, years ago. I'm trying to remember. I think they on the 26th or the 25th that Columbia broke up. January of this.
My Challenger model is still in its box somewhere around here. I never put it together. It was one of the actual models. I had the plastic little one that I had put together for class, and then I had the actual model one. I never put that one together. It's somewhere around here, still in its box and everything.
Do you guys remember Challenger at all?
Yeah, I remember Challenger. The problem with the UK, when something happens like that, even though it's quite sad, we make jokes about it to keep it light and our spirits up. So I will not tell you what was said in the playground 2 days later, what NASA actually meant in the playground back in the 86.
That's right, dark humor.
That was the only way you got through things back then.
Right. Oh, Columbia. Oh, thank you, timescales. Columbia was February 1st. Okay, 2003. And that Columbia caught me off guard too, because it was just like, oh, the space shuttle had broken up in orbit. I'm like, what? That still happened. Oh, Dan, yeah, of course. Apollo 1. Still remember the fire.
Yep.
Jeez. So, man,
I think that's a big difference between UK, because we're so used to disasters or major things happening in the UK, but stuff like this was just become second nature. Like we become desensitized to it a little bit. Does that make sense? I'm not saying it's good or bad.
I mean, well, you got to think. You were in the UK. This was in my backyard.
Yeah,
literally an hour away from my house.
Yeah.
So this and all the reporters and everything that was going on, they were here in Florida, and this was a huge deal, especially that they had the first teacher to go into space. Yeah. And she was supposed to had sent a live picture back to her classmates. Could you imagine being in that classroom?
I'm going to give you something on one of the other astronauts. My dad had said something to me, but I'm still trying to confirm this. But I think his Ronald Irwin McNair, the astronaut that passed away in there, his father taught my dad mechanics and everything, because my dad's a mechanic, and he was so proud of his son going into this,
Yeah.
And everything. So that's when my dad said that. I think that was his teacher and everything. But this is too sad, This is when I wanted to be an astronaut, and this ended up killing that dream. Now, no pun intended, but yeah.
Well, no, from what I understand, this might have been prevented. This is one of those decisions where if they thought long and hard about it, they might be still around. One of the seats landed on my uncle's back. Oh, wow. Keep that.
And the thing about it, wasn't it the retro rocket had been too cold or something, or was it the coupling that got loose?
Oh, God, it's been a long time since I looked it up, but it had to do with the O-rings.
Yes.
And the temperature that affected on the O-rings. And if you see when the shuttle launches, you can actually see the O-ring burning. And that was what happened when I was 24 years old when the Challenger explosion happened. I remember seeing it on the news. I'll look for it later, Gatch. I can't believe Henry Cavill, who will be a MegaCon next. Henry Cavill? Really?
Yeah, well, I don't think that was supposed to be announced yet. Wait.
Is that our MegaCon or somebody's?
Oh, wait. If that's the guest that's supposed to be there, that wasn't supposed to be. Wait.
We'll be doing a live action version of Ultron. It'll be amazing.
It was supposed to be a surprise guest.
I guess you may have heard it. Yes, I do remember the Challenger accident.
Yeah, see, I was too young to remember the Challenger accident. I was in daycare in January of 1986. I would have gone into the first grade that fall, and like a few years later, I became aware of it. But I have no memories of it whatsoever.
Yeah, I was about probably nine.
I think what
I
was
was
it?
nine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do find humor in things. Like I said, I'll say it, Candyman. It was just like NASA stands for needs another 7 astronauts.
Yeah.
That's what kids. Yeah,
that's exactly what was going on. Literally 24 hours.
This is how the kids had to cope with it, and I remember when the Columbia accident happened, and I don't know if you remember, Dennis Miller was talking about that, and he goes, and he said he was saying something about the shuttle service, and he's going like, when I hear the words that a piece of foam took out the space shuttle, I think we need to retire them or something. It's just like, I don't want to hear a piece of foam took out a shuttle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a painful memory, but it's something. Next year is going to be the 40th anniversary, so I wonder what NASA's going to do for that. But I rarely even hear about it anymore. It's just stowed away now.
Yeah.
The shuttle to re-enter. Sorry, it was. I mean, it was always suspected to be doomed. There's no other way to get the shuttle back than to try to re-enter atmosphere. Yeah, and we didn't have the tech that we do now. And not only that, we've got, what is it? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the guy from Virgin, and they're like, we got now. Florida is like the biggest hub of. You got to remember, when we were back in the times of the space shuttle, a space shuttle was a rare occurrence, and God forbid they scrubbed the launch for any reason. You know, that was just disappointing. So these things went up. Now there's a shuttle going, or there's a rocket going every other day somewhere. Somebody's shooting a rocket up over there, and that brought the space back because it was dead. There was the space shuttle service going out of commission, killed the Space Coast because nobody was going out there. The restaurants, the hotels, there was no reason to go back out there except for NASA.
Well, I mean, it's astounding how quickly interest in NASA and space faded at multiple stages. Like some little bit of trivia that a lot of people don't know is the Apollo 12 footage, or the footage of the Apollo 12 moon landing was faked. It had to be, because somebody, one of the astronauts, accidentally pointed the camera that they had directly at the sun for just a split second, burned out the sensor. They could have no live camera feed from it, and a bunch of like network local TV stations and whatnot, they all had props and costumes and whatnot for like science segments in the local news. And so like where they bothered to create footage to match the live audio feed, it is not on the moon. But the thing is, nobody bloody watched it. I mean, it was like at 3 a.m. for most of the country or something like that. But also, like, it was sort of a case of been there, done that for most of the country. So they didn't bother staying up to watch men walk on the freaking moon. Like, that boggles my mind.
Well, at least they're getting back up there eventually.
Yeah.
It's about
Do you really want to go back up there? That's the thing. Because we're supposed to be going to Mars.
Yeah. Well, we've got
the same thing.
12 trillion years to figure it out, to get off here, because this place is going to get hot.
Well, we had a movie about going to Mars and having, and stuff like that.
Yeah, if there's periods on there, I'm not going on there. I ain't found water on Mars. I'm definitely not going there.
Okay, that scene from Mission to Mars does not count. What was it? Tim Robbins opening up his helmet. And
what's the movie with Asa Butterfield? I have it on my shelf. I just forgot what it was. He was born on Mars and couldn't live on Earth because of the atmosphere and everything and stuff. Yeah, his heart couldn't take it. Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, if Matt Damon goes to Mars, leave his ass up there. We're not going to get rescued. So,
what is that Simpsons episode where they sent them to the sun and the rest went to Mars? Like Lisa, I'm bringing mom. Lisa's bringing mom and Maggie, and then the other two go to the sun.
Ben Affleck was like, just leave his ass up there. And also said something like, yeah, they left the surly bonds of Earth and touched the face of God, which is even traumatic. I don't think it's traumatic. I not personally, but I'm just like, I understood. he had to make a speech. He had to get the country back into some sea, but he still had to pay tribute to those folks, lost. That ice, that rupture. Oh, okay, wasn't a foam. The rupture on the wing of a Columbia orbiter was the size of a suitcase. No shuttles were launched again for 29 months. And I remember that downtime because the next shuttle that went up, everybody was just like,
and the thing is, we kind of on the ground need to be more right now because, like, let's put an allegedly in front of this just to cover ourselves, but debris and detritus from SpaceX's vehicles re-entering the atmosphere. They keep claiming that it will burn up 100%. They have literally never done the tests, and that's why we keep finding it hitting farmers' fields.
Wow.
I thought those guys were just lucky.
Radio satellites.
Well, they did find out what the drones were used for over here in New York. If you guys heard on the news, those drones that we were getting, it was the FAA like wanting to do research and everything. Okay, the FAA.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, we're going to end the conspiracy theories right now. I don't
let's
they keep making
episode.
YouTube's listening. I don't want them to go. Some algorithm's going to like conspiracy theory. He said ass. So I'm sure they're going to knock it out over there. Guys, unless there are any final thoughts, let's go ahead and wrap her up for the night there.
Let's see what our picture is tonight.
There you go. Nick, where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel. Go visit Nick Smith Films. There,
one day we'll figure it out.
I helped out with a short film called Plain Jane. We're very excited because a trailer comes out for it tonight. You might find it on YouTube or Facebook, but it's a really sweet drama about a girl who graduates. She has to decide which way her life is going to turn. So look for Plain Jane and look for us next week.
Got it. David, where can people find you and your cat?
They can find me at crossingthethemes.wordpress.com. That is my blog. It is occasionally updated and it is very, very sweary. So be warned.
Okay. I like the swear.
Even the cat swears.
Now that I'll pay money for. Candyman, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here with Legend Traveling TARDIS, and you can find me at Spill for Geek Tea, where we have Tom and Timescales. There've been loads of chats coming from them. We'll talk random crap about random things, and it's just basically randomness, which is all good fun. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Gotcha. Speaking of randomness,
yep, I'm the most randomest person going.
Favorite segues now. Here we go.
You find me ever Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Like I said, no more DMV. That toxic job is gone. What else? Convention definitely will be in August and everything. I'm working on another one. There's actually 2 in August, and the second one is the one I'm trying to work on because that one's here in the Bronx and everything. And a shout out to Lone Wolf Comics and everything because I'm trying to see if I can get their tickets because they're selling out fast right now too and everything. And they're just a small little one inside a church. Imagine that, right? And everything. I think being mentioned or shout out on my channel the last time I did it to them. They actually got some popularity. And anywhere else you guys want me because I've been getting messages from certain conventions and stuff. Guys, call us. Call me. We can come out to you guys. Just as long as you pay the way, we'll come out and give you guys the most bloopery, funny, crazy show ever.
And everybody, thank you again for checking out the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing our MegaCon specials, the pre-show for next Tuesday, and the post-show the Tuesday after that. Again, thank you for helping us. If you're watching on January 28th of this year, this is our 4th year, and thank you for helping us celebrate by making us 50,000 subscribers strong on this YouTube channel there. I think we've done the podcast. The podcast, including the audio, is going on its 6th year, I think, this year. I got to check it out. But we can't do this without you, and we thank you all for so much. And if you want to, help me get a new computer, where Maramas, so you have a better quality of stuff there. Their super thanks and super chats are awaiting. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for the team over here, Nick, David, Mark, and Gadget, because we can't do the show without you. We wouldn't want to do it without you guys. So from behalf of everybody over here, don't forget to say goodnight to Rose, and peace, love, and until the next adventure, good night, Rose.
Night, Rose.
Good night, Rose.
That's the wrong Rose.
Are you sure about that? Tony, take us out.